Good afternoon. There are many wonderful writers at Boulder today, but the one in front of you has actually journeyed the longest and perhaps is the bravest of them all. She has literally gone to hell and back and lived to tell the tale. She lived through the Cultural Revolution, was a Red Guard sent to a labor camp at the age of 17, endured 18-hour days working in paddy fields, completely bizarre mind games, turning in fellow Red Guards, denouncing her teacher, and then in a leap that I'll let Anchee Min talk about later, became a film star of a kind before she came to America. But I'm jumping a little bit ahead of the story here. I can turn this back to you. Is that or not? Oh,
no,
you've got,
you just
okay.
keep that
All right.
microphone.
So,
That'll be fine.
Let me start by asking you about your childhood there, childhood during the worst of the Cultural Revolution. You actually had to denounce a favorite teacher, Autumn Leaves. You talk about that, and I wondered what effect that had on you, and whether it was in a way one of the inspirations for writing the book.
The effect it had on me was my mother. Afterwards, she wants to, she says, I'm going to disown you. That affected me. She says, dare you do that again? For me, I was praised by the principals and schools, and it's like if you can't detach yourself and denounce the person that you love the most. And I remember as I denounced the teacher and I was crying and suffering, but I feel I was devoting myself, sacrificed myself for the good of the communism and for saving the world. But my mother's behavior was really confusing me. I even thought about reporting her. So I was that of a communist, very much brainwashed. I never say, we never taught, I love you, Mama, I love you, Papa, never. We say, I love you, Chairman Mao, I love you, the Communist Party of China. I learned to write Long Live Chairman Mao before I learned to write my own name.
Actually, one of the saddest bits of the book is that Anchee Min was a favored student, really a teacher's pet almost, of Autumn Leaves. She really thought you had potential.
Because she was an American spy.
She was thought an American spy because she taught, among other things, Snow White and the Little Prince, and Hans Christian Andersen, the communist leader, worried was a foreign spy, perhaps an American spy.
She planted the seed. She planted the seed in me, and I did not know it would grow. So I denounced her, and it left me 30 years later, after I got a degree in America, first thing I went back to China and to become a teacher. I actually wanted to do what exactly she was doing. My father, it was my father who chased me off. My father says, if you stay and teach, you are going to end up American spy. And your student is going to denounce you the same way you denounce your teacher. And I believe you will do better going back to America. So that's how I came here.
Tell us a little bit about what it was like being at that labor camp. It was not unusual for young people, teenagers like yourself, to be taken from the city and essentially re-educated as a peasant in a labor camp.
We were prepared. I didn't really have, my time, if we say I have a middle school degree, no, it's not. Half of our school was that I was 11 years old, and I worked in the Shanghai, half a semester, work in the Shanghai staple factory, do the staplers, packing them, and then I worked 3 shifts at the Shanghai number 7 knit factory, textile factory, and Shanghai number 9 silk factory, and then spent another half year in the countryside, living with the peasants and learn how to do the farm work. And then live another few months training with Shanghai garrison to fight Americans. And you guys know that you were in Vietnam. And we were told that China's gonna be next. So I wanted to be a martyr. My dream was to be sent to Vietnam, fight Americans, die there, blow myself up, tie a grenade, jump into the American Marines. If I can take 2 of them down, I profit. I dream of coming back a martyr, my ashes wrapped in the Chinese Communist red flag, and my parents will be sad but proud. And with that kind of mindset, every child's dream, just to die for my country, and we were told that Americas are the evil source of the world. So children in America are starving, not until I come to this country and know that your parents tell you to finish your food because Chinese children are starving. No, we thought we were the happiest children on earth. And I also grew up with my grandparents. They live on the side of the Yangtze River on Nantong, Jiangsu, Nantong, where the branch of Yangtze River was in front of my door. So it's my water, my sewage. Because of drinking from that water, where you see the boat that carries manure passing by, and they are so greedy, and they will just pack it whole up. So when there is a 2 boat comes in, and you can see go, gung, 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 and the shit just spills out. And I was there washing my rice. And then afterwards, just go back to Shanghai, and we all infected with tapeworms. And one day, my table mate didn't show up, and she died because the tapeworm went through her appendix. So the government interfered and give us the pills. It's called pagoda candy. And we never really had a candy, except like a Chinese New Year. We were giving 2 pieces of candy, Chinese New Year. And so we see the candy medicine. I just took it in, and it was in the middle of a class, and the tapeworms trying to escape the drug out of my body. I could feel it's coming out of I don't mean to disgust you, you know. So it was an American horror movie never, you know, like scared me, because that was the alien thing. I experienced it. But I thought I was, you know, saving American children. And that life, I did not mind that life because everybody lived the same way. And so that kind of prepared us to serving the labor camp. From a perspective that was Mao, you know, the Cultural Revolution started in 1965. The true purpose of it was Mao tried to get rid of his political opponent, Vice Chairman Liu Shaoqi. And he used the young people to call it democracy, to call a takeover on the bourgeoisie headquarters. So the students was used and discarded afterwards. Mao thought the city youth in the city caused too much trouble. Let's send them to the countryside to grow some rice to support Vietnam. So that's how 1/3 of China, I was just one among them. It was nothing.
Well, one has heard about this kind of perpetual revolution that Mao put the Communist Party through. Reading your book, what you come away from with a sense of is that within the labor camp, there was a kind of perpetual revolution. There's constant jockeying, mind games, denunciation of the fellow Red Guard who was caught making love to somebody, which was one of the more horrific bits in the book.
Well, first, the thing, you know, Chinese, it's taboo to talk about sexuality, but where do you think the billion people are coming from? What do they do at night? We don't have movies. We make one propaganda movie a year. So keep in mind that people my age are today running China. My type of people are running China. If China's a threat to you, my knowledge in the middle school I was 16 years old, naturally curious. And the Red Guards was looting and burning books. And one of the books I found on the streets and piled up and interested me was a book called 从头到脚猴眼看人, From head to toe, looking from a monkey's eye. And inside, and it has some illustrations about genitals. And one sentence that really caught my 16-year-old attention was, the highest form is the intercourse between a man and a woman is the highest form of revolutionary comradeship. So equipped with that, we were sent to the labor camp near East China Sea where we had 100,000 youth aged from 17 to 23. The 10 labor camps. So one was, well, people have problems saying that, Chinese people have problem me saying labor camp. You can say labor farm, labor collective, but in America I was thinking, you know, summer camp or labor camp. It's just grow rice and cotton to support Vietnam. And like you said, our hormones are raging, but the prosecution for dating men and women, it's a price for love is, it could be death. So we went out chasing those people who were making out in the wheat fields. And there's a lot of layers of stories because we knew nothing ourselves about love and the relationship. And then our own nature calling, and that we didn't know how to deal with it. When you're not allowed to be with a man, you pick whatever that's available, animal or your same sex. And you risk also, I risk my own life to be exposed, and that would be a execution. But you're young. You can't resist the heart's desire to crave for human affection. You don't know what you're doing. You just die. You want that thing. And it was that kind of intimacy I shared with my commander. I learned that she was from a family that with 9 people, 2 parents, 7 children, and she grew up living in one room. In the middle of the night, hear her mother say, with a scissor in her hand, says, "Don't you dare." So her mother had 7 children, was the result of rape from her father. So all she knew was that a man, woman together is a rape. So when she became a commander, she would catch whoever together and denounce the man as a rapist. Now, the girl that she helped and denounced and went mentally break down. And then her name is a little green. I wrote it in red Azalea. And she was sent to the Shanghai mental hospital and come back and working side by side with me. Medicine make her feel fat. And she started to, and we wake up one day and our shoes are gone. She threw the shoes in the manure pit. It's just, we drove her to madness. And it's hard to live with. She was so beautiful. She sang songs. She was the voice that entertained us during the hard, boring labor. And I learned that Yan, my commander, she felt guilty, and it was the moment that she started to fall in love herself. She didn't know what to do with herself. And the love letter, and I became, the go-between and the love letter took the risk. And then one night, inside a mosquito net, and we're together because it was so cold. And it was okay for girls sleeping together, share the blankets, and things happened. She guided me to play her boyfriend, the boy she wanted to kiss. By that, I learned the portrait of God. Of course, we didn't add anything. We didn't go. If I knew what I knew then, what I knew now, I would really please myself and entertain myself. But it was like You know, it just soulless. It was just the connection. We didn't go anything beyond breast. What a pity. Today I tell my daughter, you're 16 years old. What do you do at home? Why don't you go out and go get to know men? You wanted to be a loser like your mom? And grow up 50 years old, having no memory or no chance and regret. You never had a boy hold your hand. Just go on and get the chance to get a boy hold your hand. But that was I went too far.
I was just about to say, I'm not sure about the PG ratings at this literary festival.
Am I offending anybody? Raising it. Okay.
Red Azalea is full of this sort of extraordinary courage. And what I find truly unusual is that it's very almost strange for an Asian to write with that sort of just brutal honesty. You aren't sparing of yourself. You're talking about your love life. You really put everything on the line, and I think it's one of the most courageous books I've ever read for that reason. Quite remarkable. But you and your mother had a tussle over her sense of justice. She somehow, even at the height of Maoist China, when not much made any sense, she believed that there should be a sense of justice. And if I understood you correctly in the book, you'd kind of gone over to the other side in the sense that you felt it was hopeless. Can you talk about?
Yeah, because my mother's a loser. She wanted to be a teacher, but she never get a chance to teach, and she was just a sidekick. She's a clerk, and then she could never get her dream come true. And then anybody can step on her, and she was reduced to the rain boot factory, and she spent her life pull the rain boots out of the machine. And she had tuberculosis, and she was 30 years old, and she had high blood pressure. And we went to the hospital, and she threw away the medicine. I said, why do you throw away the medicine? She said, I want to be with my children. If I get better, and I would never get a doctor will never sign me a slip of rest. So she would purposely try to get her illness worse so she can get a 3-day off slip. So that was her way. So I wanted to do better than my mother. Of course, I woke up one night and was tripped over her, and she was on her knees. Many years later, she told me she was praying because I was turning into a devil. When I was young, she dragged me with her other children, 4 of us, and from one end of Shanghai to other, looking for a bookstore. And she says, there has to be children's books. It cannot be that you grow up in no books, no children's books. And I said, I was 10 years old, with my 10 years old voice, I says, Mom, Mao's books, the only books we need. I think that really drove my mother, but she was afraid of me. And then it was actually in the labor camp, we found the truth that we never gonna be able to support Vietnam. We can hardly feed ourselves. The rice we grow, cotton we grow about this height. It never come through fruitation. I think 10 years ago, I was with author Frank McCourt. You know Frank McCourt? I just love him. He wrote Angelus Ashes, yes. So we were on the same panel stage, and with a American, is it okay to be politically incorrect? Yeah. Just forgive me, I'm from a different world, okay? I think I have nothing to fear. I've been tossed in the shit pit anyway. Long time, I'm done that. So Frank and McCoy sit here, and they have this African-American lady sitting in the middle, and I sit here. So the lady she's from Chicago, and she's from the projects. She complained about 2 toilets. She only have 2 toilets, and that's not enough. I mean, I really have to warn you that I don't know America enough to criticize. I don't know what kind of shoes she was in, all right? It's not fair for me to judge her. But that 2 toilets, she only had 2 toilets, really, you know, kind of step on raw nerve, not just mine, Frank McCour's, and he says, don't get me started to talk about toilet. So he started to talk about, you read the book, the bucket he had in the corner, and he and his family have to go, you know, in the middle of the night up and down, and he heard this dropping, you know, the pee-pee sound and the smell. And afterwards, it was my turn. I said, don't get me talk about toilets. I don't even have a bucket. Because in the labor camp, everything, you know, peasant, organic, right? We have a pit. We don't need a toilet. Our manures, our poo-poos are fertilizers. So when we have the nature calling, we just go, you know, we are barefoot, we're bare feet from rice paddy, just come up and then go to the pit. The pit, we have a 2x4 layer over it. I just like squatting down. And you know, we don't wear shoes, and it's really slippery. And it's like an acrobat move that we have to stabilize. The thing was that, you know, rice farmers, you have to deal with mosquitoes. They are super mosquitoes. It can bite through my canvas pants. And it's okay that I take a pee, but it's not okay I take a poo. If it take longer. So I do this dance. I'm glad you're here, so because if you listen to me from the radio, you're not gonna see it. Oh God. So I did this dance. No, you know, it's.
I don't think you need the mic.
No, I do. Okay, imagine I'm squatting here, right? I do this dance. It's called fan dance. I mean, 100,000 youth went through that, and no history of China's books recording that. All right. It's just like it goes like this. You get to do this. Just get off the mosquitoes, right? And the thing is that when I do poo-poo and it's so long, it was not fast enough, and the thousands of mist, or wing of super mist would just get you. And I cannot. The soldiers warned me, you cannot afford to scratch it, because you scratch it too hard and you fall off the balance. Right. And look at down there. It's 1,000 megahertz. And you fall into that. Imagine that. So after that, I look at the lady in the middle disappeared. And I had a good time with Frank McCour, which is, you know, I say, thank you for the buckets. He says, that was good. That pit was good.
Tapeworm, open pits, you're going to lose the man on your right. But anyway, tell us how you escaped that to become a movie star in communist China.
Movie star.
Which the posters have gone off, but they were up there.
Okay, make a long story short.
And it wasn't an audition from that dance, I take it.
I guess part of it was because I was able to carry 200 pounds of manure. And I moved the story a little bit faster. When I came to America, I found 2 things very interesting. First, like I love looking at you, because the first time I saw different colors of eyes and the hair and skin and clothes, that just fascinated me. And second was Miss America pageant. And I saw, but that exactly looked like the Miss Proletarian, Miss China pageant I went through. The difference was that measurement's different. You have to have this vase kind of look. I have like a column, you know, really solid. Not only that, I have to have a collar on my shoulder. That means I carry the manure. And also I have everything, the collars on my hands, and the weather-beaten skin, and I, you know, have this high cheekbone, and everything that look. Well, the thing was that background was 1976. Mao was dying. we did not know. We thought Mao was immortal. He would never die. He's going to rule China forever. It's been 27 years. And only Madame Mao knew. She knew that he was dying, and she wanted to be the next president of China. As a woman, she was controlled. She knew the propaganda, movies, impact, the power of that. She wanted to make a movie featuring woman heroines. So she sent talent scouts all over China looking for this face. We call at the time, the code for Shanghai Film Studios talent scout was called look number 1. My look is look number 1, once upon a time. And then the look number 2, look number 3. If you look number 5, then you get to play bad guy, traitors. So I was in the cotton field hoeing, and by then I had my back injury, spinal cord injury. It was so bad that I have to crawl. You know, I used to plant rice. This is you plant rice. You go like this, like 18 hours a day. But when my back went out, I can't bend. I had only knee in the rice paddy, and I moved really slow. But I want to eat. If I don't finish my cord, I will not be able to give him food to eat. So everything's soaked. When I have my period, you see the red. So it was so bad, and I went to the clinic, and the doctor did not have time to have me undress myself. He was so busy, he would just lay me on the table, and over my clothes, he applied acupuncture. And when that failed to work, because the doctor says, you have to rest in order for the treatment to work. I said, but I need a slip of 3 days rest. And he went quiet. Because he said he was only allowed to issue 3 of them a day, which he would save 1 for his boss, 2nd for his whoever who would bring him a salt and the toilet papers, and the 3rd he would save for the girl of his interest. So the patient gets nothing. So by then I was really bad, but I did not know that day Shanghai Film Studio talent scout was here. And in the labor camp when we work, we don't see any, there's not even a tree. So that van, the white van, stopped at the corner, and people with green army coat came out, and we knew they are important. They just look at, kind of scan through us. And everybody they stopped. They look at these strange group of people, and I thought to myself, I can catch up. I might be able to have dinner tonight. So I was moving as fast as I could, and from the talent scout's point of view, I was the only moving creature on the entire horizon, and that was how I was spotted. Then I went through 6 times competition. In Shanghai Film Studio, I saw at least 500 girls, all have the similar kind of face. Interesting thing was that the people with great acting skill all got eliminated. Why? Because if you can act, means you're cultured. If you're cultural, you have a family background, and you're politically not reliable. For Madame Mao, a piece of white paper is most important. So when they asked me, you know, what do you know? And I say, I don't know anything, but I know how to recite Mao poems and quotations, because that was my skill of bully and beaten. Because when you're young, if you recite Mao quotations and the bullies cannot hit you, they have to stop. If they hit you, they will be anti-Mao. You don't hit anybody who is reciting Mao. So I became so good. I represent school to enter competition for reciting Mao poem, and these are all great for my book in the future for writing Becoming Madame Mao, because I know Mao poems inside out. And so in the Shanghai Film Studio, I just opened my mouth to recite Mao. By the way, the skill of recite things, I say recite English, that helped at the American consulate for my visa, but that's a later story. At that time, I just projected my voice like a peasant, and the last sentence was that Mao's favorite. 待到山花烂漫时，他在丛中笑。 Which means that the communists are winter plum flowers, and they are small now, but they got promote revolution when the wildfire they lit that spread all over the world, and that thousand spring blossom comes up, and the communists will be smiling happily among them. So that poem reciting got me accepted by the film studio as the finalist, and we were making the movie for Madame Mao, propaganda movie. And all these pictures, where are the pictures?
The pictures were.
Okay, yeah, the picture in the middle with my big picture, you see that's a poster that was modeled after me, that the Shanghai Institute of Oil Painting, the guy, Ha Jingwen, came and took a picture on the lower corner. That was, when I was selected the film studio, and he just took a picture of me, and he made a poster of a household poster on the top right corner, and they posted, I was not able to collect it myself, but I saw it posted in the Shanghai bookstore in the busiest streets. And these images just unearthed from archive last month. And the one on the lower left, that was my screen test. And they want that cheekbone. And we did not know, because normally Chinese loves moon-shaped face, right? Why the cheekbone? Cheekbone is a 寡妇脸. It's no good. But Madame Mao happened to be the fan of a Hollywood movie. and her favorite was, amazingly, I mean, while she was the murderer, she murdered millions of lives, but she loved Jane Eyre. She loved Sound of Music. And you think about it, it makes sense, because Jane Eyre, Mr. Rochester was 20 years older than Jane, and Mao was 20 years older than Madame Mao. And Rochester's got a mad wife in the attic, and Mao's got a second wife, He mad wife. And the Sound of Music, Mao's got leftover children by the previous wife, and she was raising them. So she was, they say that she can't talk to Mao, and other leaders, so she just loves American movies. So she happened to pick the girl who have the cheekbone. It's a very Western kind of look. And, but I did not know how to act, and all the screen tests come out awful. And we were ordered to go to the Beijing and actually to watch some Western movies, which is these two movies, in the Madame Mao's viewer screen. And we were pre-warned that do not get poisoned. But that poison was exactly what we got. And I just remember walking away from that booth, was the sofa was kind of really worn out sofa. It was kind of, I remember it's kind of, I don't know where they looted. It's just kind of strange feelings. So these, and the one on the corner, top left, right, in the middle, I mean, the shot is too small, but you see these are a group of people get executed, and 4 men and 1 woman with long hair, that's me. Long hair, that's me. We were trained to be martyrs. So that was the film. Okay. 10 minutes. We haven't even gone to America yet.
Then, in a twist of fate, Mao dies, and your career's cut short.
Yes, 8 years. I was Madame Mao's political outcast. I was reduced to, anyway, just no way to live. I identify with today's, like, migration, the immigrant crisis. I recognize the expression on the face. That was me. When I was coughing blood back in China, no way out. The only way was die, trying America. It was just based on one information. A friend told me that I'm going to university in America and I work in the restaurant and pay my own tuition. So I think, can I be American student? I was 27 years old and did not speak English. I'm running out of time. But anyway, let me fast forward really fast.
There's time for that. It
Right.
is the most unusual immigration story you've ever heard.
Well, let me just give me three minutes about my application. First was my name. I need to have American name. I did not have. My name is Min Anchee. So my wise man in the neighborhood gave me American name. It's Angel. So I said Anchee Min. When my daughter was 10 years old, I took out the paper. I said, this is how your mother come to America, Anchee Min. And she took the paper, read, and said, it's Anchee Min, Mom. The next section was sex. I supposed to circle female. But in my Chinese dictionary, 1972 Chinese English dictionary, no term for sex. So I did not know how to mark it. Female, no, or male or female, I did not know. So I took the application form to the girl, a friend, a friend, a friend. 2 o'clock in the morning, she just came back from a touring job, and she says, I'm too tired, just let me do it for you. Okay, okay, middle school, and then let me get high school, and English language language skill, poor, average, good, excellent, of course, excellent. That was my journey, try to get my passport. Oh, you have to read the book, I don't have time. Then American visa. You know, at my time, you have to be at least a master's degree, a candidate, or PhD. And I came for a BA. I was 27 years old. I didn't stand a chance. But I recited my self-introduction. I did that when my name was called. My only thought was, I would not let the Consul General interrupt me. If he or she did, they're going to find out I don't speak English. So I projected, and I get okay. I understand, okay. And the Consul General closed the curtain on my face and moved me to the next secretary, and the secretary just gave me a side work. You think you fooled Americans? It's just like they like people with crazy determination. It's true. You liked me and you accept me. I take opportunity to thank you. Okay, I'm not gonna continue the story about my deportation. You're gonna find out from the books to...
That's in the second book, The Cook
Are you
Scene.
gonna ask me to sing?
Yeah, you've just asked yourself. So in addition to dancing, squatting, and Anchee wants to sing. Don't go and say you didn't get your money's worth this afternoon.
Yeah, because I just thought, you know, it's a one moment in time, in space, you and I meet here. It's Yuan. I have to make good and entertain yourself, entertain you, so you don't feel, I don't feel waste your money, because time, I just really don't feel that I have much to offer. I'm not supposed to sing you when I'm out of practice for 30 years. God, I forgot, it's 40 years since I learned this, but it's in my blood. My thinking was, you're American, you don't know the difference. And this is called celebration. It's for the 12 years of Cultural Revolution, 1965 to 76, we did not have movies or anything but the propaganda operas. And Madame Mao was the executive producer of this thing, and it came with ancient tunes, like 1,000-year-old Chinese tunes. She just filled up these revolutionary words. And I think I'm not promoting because you don't understand the words anyway. And today we still sing it because we don't have any memory of our childhood or youth or anything. We sing it in a very monkey way. You know, when we see each other, 天王盖地虎，宝塔镇河妖, and we just ha 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 ha. But this one, it's gonna be 30 seconds. Hope my voice don't crack. 今日同饮庆功酒，壮志未酬，誓不休。来日方长健身手，干洒热血写春秋。Thank you.
You can see why she passed the screen test. Okay, we can open up to questions.
Okay, we have time for maybe 2 questions. First? Yes, on my way.
Did you connect that desperate moment when you needed a 3-day slip with when that happened to your mother, and how did that relationship play out in your life? The 3 days that your mother...
3 days to come away from the labor camp.
It's just a way of life. When you're in it, you don't think about it. I don't think about it. I don't think about when I came to America. I mean, it just in me, I think it come with me. But in America, you see, there is a writer me, and it's the living me. And the living me is that I got the opportunity. I hate to say opportunity. It was terrible living, but that's how you start as an immigrant from living the bottom of American society. And I know what it's like to, you fear deportation. You wanted to. But the thing is, you always carry that moment that the feel that the acupuncture needles coming through my clothes and into me. I beg doctors, say, can you go harder, can do harder, harder? Doctors say, I'm all the way down. You wanted to live, but here I'm giving a chance. So everything from then on, I was thinking, now I'm in America. Now I'm giving a chance. Now, I giving chance to manage English, take a test back to the school, so I will not be reported by the school, by law, back to immigration for my deportation. So if you're given 6 months to learn Chinese, in my shoes, you will. And after that, it's all the way, all my life, for 25 years in America, this just ruled me. I come and says, okay, I write a book. What can I do to survive, to respect this moment that was given to me by Americans? What can I do to offer them? Then I figure China. I figure with my experience in the college, I don't think you know much China. So I thought I write historical fictions because it's in my way, it's nonfiction. But I think this is the China that I know. The Madame Mao, I know. For example, Madame Mao, I know her, first of all, because why me? Why she would pick my face. Second was when one moment was the face of China. Second moment was I was sitting down and all these people released from jail, Madame Mao's enemy, they came on the stage. They talk about stories, why they were jailed, why Madame Mao wanted to kill them. So that was actually the oral history of China, of communism. And these people all died afterwards, cancer, and and I thought I was this living creature who actually first-hand material heard it. And in America, I feel like it's so rich because you can never really write like an insider. If I don't have anything, I have this rich material of being an insider of China. Yes.
Okay, thank you very much. We have time for one more quick question. Maruta.
Thank you. Your government told you many stories about America, about Vietnam, and you and your friends all believed them. They told you stories about Tibet. Can you tell me how that affected you and what you believed from that?
Thank you for the question. Tibet. First of all, I am the wrong person to ask about Tibet because I doubt my judgment because I am brainwashed. The Tibet I know was the objects that we see, they unearthed from the temples, that the lanterns made of human skull or human skin, and the drums made of human skin, and we were told it was a tradition. I had no way to judge if, all these things. So Tibet, to me, that's my picture, but my own experience was that my neighbor, who lived in the apartment number 3, she is a special, the best teacher, elementary school teacher in Shanghai. And once she was voted as the best elementary school teacher in Shanghai, she gets sent to Tibet. That's all the elementary school Shanghai teacher fears, because they become so good and they will be just picked up and then shipped to Tibet, because the government believes that the Tibetan children needs elementary school education. So the result of that was forced education on that, so that make the next generation of Tibetan youth think about if they want to spend all their lives just go, up, down, flat, and they want to worship, which I think really changed the landscape, psychologically. So that's what I know about that.
Okay. Unfortunately, we're out of time. Thank you very much. That was an extraordinary retelling of this wonderful book, which I highly recommend. Anchee did a very, very good job bringing it to life, but it is a book and well worth reading. So thank you.
I owe him. I didn't get him to introduce himself, that much. He devoted everything to me. I thank you for your time. Thank you.
Thank you, Anchee Min and Rahul Jacob. Thank you very much.